In 1998, you know, another comparison point from today to 1998. Today, a goat herder with a cell phone has more mobile telephony power and bandwidth than the leader of the free world did in 1998. So technology has been moving at a breakneck speed for 14 years. So why is like the one thing we're working on incredibly stagnant? And it's funny, apparently my talk has a lot of overlap with yours. But we're both like looking at this problem, like look, like obviously there's a huge demand, like people like it, it's effective, there's this huge problem it could address, we have the technology. What is the freaking problem? Okay, so this is my analysis of it. It's just too expensive. Look at video game innovation over time. Someone else put this together, I didn't. They basically took all the things like procedurally generated worlds, color vector graphics, two-player controls, co-op, competitive, all these things, and they mapped them out as milestones, and they graphed them over time. So, you know, a simple linear fit to that looks something like that. Well, as you know, game costs look something like that, right? I mean, it intuitively makes sense. If you have to spend $10 million, $100 million to make a game, you're not about to take a risk on a new mechanic or a new genre. You have to take something that works and iterate a little bit. So video games have been doing this for the last 10 or 15 years because they've had to. Because the expectation of a console release game is that it has to have a certain level of artwork, a certain level of content, storyline, gameplay. If it doesn't have those things, it just doesn't work. The publisher probably won't even let you sell it. Or not the publisher, the console platform won't let you sell it. And so because of these both barriers to entry and costs, people haven't been able to really take risks in the extra game space, and so we're seeing a lot of stagnant formulas. So, I mean, really, consoles just couldn't win. If you were not on a Wii, Xbox, or PlayStation, you were building custom hardware. It's hard, and it's expensive, and you're probably going to be somewhat risk averse if you're capitalizing that. And yeah, it's just tough. And if you are on a console, you have all the problems I just told you about. And so I think it's like that 1-2 kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place exercise games have been in. So I think that mobile gives us a way out there. Because they let us do things cheaper, and because the app stores have lower barriers to entry, there's this potential for really good, rapid, kind of basically communication with each other through small apps. I was a small app, you see how it works, you iterate. You take a risk, you try a small thing, I take that, I iterate. You know, designers can basically communicate to each other and with users by releasing smaller projects. They also have lots of other cool stuff, like the fact that there's tons of them. Yeah, sure, there's 19 million Kinects, but there's like 100 million iPads, and next year there'll be another 100 million. And that's not even counting iPhones. They have defined monetization channels, they have keyboards on them, so you can actually connect to Facebook, which is something I think very few people do through consoles, even though some of them offer that option. They're portable. And more people are getting the plumbing in their living room so that they can connect to their TV and VHD, you know, signals, their TV, or Apple TV, through HDMI cable, whatever. Pretty soon the thing in your pocket will be a major form of what plays in your TV. So they're like basically winning on every angle except that last pesky one, how to detect motion. So that's kind of been BitGym's light bulb moment, that you can actually use the stock hardware on a mobile device to detect people's exercise motion in various contexts. We actually started building hardware. We had, this is what they're doing, this is, I know at least a few other real smart companies that are doing this. They're building, you know, basically made for iPod devices, USB Android devices, and they're planning on making the hardware once and having a platform of games kind of on top of that, where the hardware was a one-time kind of investment that was kind of expensive, but then the games themselves can be cheap and iterative and have all those good things I was talking about. We chose to go never a route, we're just using the onboard sensors on the device. And it turns out that since they all have front-facing cameras now, we have a very powerful sensor. It may not have depth perception, it may not have stereoscopic qualities, but it can do a lot. So we do two big things with that at BitGym. Our first mode is something that we've talked about publicly, you can see on our website. We can detect the exercise motion of people working out on cardio bikes, cardio ellipticals, or treadmills. Someone just takes their iPhone, takes their iPad, walks up to the device, places it on the magazine rack, and starts exercising. Using the front-facing camera and the accelerometer on the device, we can tell some things about the player. As you exercise, you do certain things. If you're on a bike, you shake the bike. As you exercise, you also move your head side to side. We can detect both those things, fuse them together, and decide what your cadence is on the bike. Furthermore, if we want to give them access of steering into the bike, we just have them lean their body as they exercise, and that'll steer the game context they're in. And as the last thing, they're usually within touching distance of the screen, so if you make big buttons, they have to hit infrequently. That's another access input for these guys. Ellipticals, same story. Treadmill's a little different. We don't encourage people trying to like steer on treadmills, so we restrict to just games that kind of detect if you're exercising or not. We have a few games out that do that. We have a car racing game that you can play on bikes and ellipticals to steer around, and we have a app called Virtual Active, which has HD videos of different trails around the world. And as you work out on your bike, treadmill, or elliptical at different speeds, it plays back this video back to you at different speeds. So you can feel like you're running through Italy or the Grand Canyon or whatever. We also have a bunch of cool stuff coming down the pipeline from partners using our early access SDK. But another big thing that we haven't been talking about publicly, but we're about to pretty soon, and you can come up and try if you'd like, is that we also found out how to use the device much like a Kinect. It turns out the 2D camera really is powerful enough to do stuff that's not quite as cool as the Kinect, but it's pretty cool. We can detect stuff like, jump. Like this motion is very easy to see. This ducking, moving side to side, running in place, punching, dancing, chopping, stuff like that. And with that and some careful tuning, you can make games that are every bit as cool as the console counterparts. So I guess I'll just conclude this talk, and I'll take some questions, and I'll show you, the hardware itself. But let me just finish up with this thought. It presupposes true what I said, that companies are figuring out ways to use their mobile devices as the next Exergaming platform. What this means is that we're going to launch into a kind of a renaissance of game development, much like we saw in core gaming in the 80s, where we suddenly got to cascade and cascade through and discover all these core pillars of the genre that you can really only detect by trial and error and just putting in the time and taking risks. And I think that's going to be really exciting. We're going to have more genres to depend on. It won't just be dance, sports, and basically fitness DVDs, which are like the 3 genres of exercise games we tend to have right now. Well, we're going to find 10 more we didn't even know existed yet. And that'll help us get to that 10 hours a week. Because we'll just have more interesting and more well-designed things to play with. So that's it. I'll be around for the rest of the day. I'm leaving halfway through tomorrow, so if you want to talk to me, please come find me tonight or after this panel. And yeah.
We actually have about 5 odd minutes for you to kind of,
cool.
Have people come up, demo, try it out. I think that's proof is in the pudding, and so you got to actually try it because it's awesome.
Yeah, and our product's coming along, and I'm happy to show it. It's not perfect. I just want to instill hope and make you guys make sure that you're looking at mobile, either through us or another product like his or like some of the others that are going to be announced this year. And seriously, if you're doing anything with something that's not mobile, ask yourself why.
Set up now? Which kind of?
I mean, we could probably do both. There's no reason why someone can't play while I'm like talking to people. Does someone want to come up and try some games? I can like try and demo them here. So I obviously can't demo exercise bikes games for very similar reasons. That's a little tough. But I can show you a real simple breakout game. I'm actually going to look at it carefully. So in this game, as I move side to side, it's just detecting my body position and controlling the breakout paddle. If I jump, it'll launch the paddle, it'll launch the ball. If I jump again, it'll launch a power shot, hit it hard. And let's see, play some temple run. Temple Run knockoff. Does anybody develop with Unity in here?
Yep.
Does anybody use the asset store to pull up pre-completed projects?
Yes.
So this is a project I bought for $50. We didn't do any of this art or animation. It's someone that basically ripped off Temple Run and sold the package as a tutorial package for about $50 for people who kind of want to see how this game would work. We just used it to kind of drop in our SDK to make some example games. Oh man, I'm sucking. So I can like move the runner side to side to collect these coins, jump over those boxes. Duck to go under this. Yeah.
So the
Questions?
freeway or whatever, is it Fit Freeway on the bicycle?
Yeah, so we have
So how does it detect whether they're actually doing bicycle?
So Fit Freeway, this version isn't released. The one that's in the App Store now only works on bikes and mopeds. So it uses the accelerometer,
When it's a little subtle.
the vibrations of the bike based on your pedaling. We just pull that out into the speed. And then we use phase capture as you steer left and right to steer the car. We updated that with our latest SDK a couple months ago so that now it actually tracks your face as you slightly move side to side. So it turns out as you're biking, you do this. You basically can't stop yourself. And if you can't speed it up or slow it down, it's like your whole core is like rotating, right? So we use a combination of watching those minute side-to-side motions and the accelerometer, and we can actually not just get a read on your intensity, but also your cadence. So you can see if you're at 1 or 2 hertz. And then we also added a standalone mode, so that if you don't have exercise bikes and for some reason you want to play a racing game, you can actually just jog in place, and we'll detect that vertical cadence that I was talking about. Use that to power this car.
Can you use it on stationary bikes?
Yes, it actually only works on stationary bikes. It would be very dangerous on real bikes.
So when you
Well, actually, I mean, I guess it would work on a regular bike.
when you jog
That'd be really fun,
in
actually.
place,
Don't do that.
when you jog in place, if you run faster, does it apply the
Yeah.
speed?
So this is getting my cadence of my up and down motion, basically. So you can see as I'm just walking slowly, it's not going very
that's
fast.
for your up and down motion, not
Basically.
the accelerometer. Okay.
Right, so I don't use vibrations too much anymore these days. The visual output turns out it's way better. So we moved all our stuff to pure visual algorithms. Yeah. Any other? Yeah.
Is it logging distance, Alex?
It's actually not right now.
Yeah.
Should. Just we're busy. I mean, that's like kind of the next step. Obviously, if you got a mobile device you're working on, I think the expectation is there is that I should be recording it and uploading it to Runkeeper or something.
Right.
And we're not trying to be a data locker play or anything, so once we can get the plumbing in place, we'd love people to export it to their tracker of choice. You know, get credit in whatever their Nike field band system or something. Any other questions?
Thank you very much,
All right.
Alex.